Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome to the Late Apex presented by myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside David Sampson. We're here in the Apex Racing TV Esports studio where today we'll be mainly discussing iRacing's development blog. Lots of information about what's coming in the Season 2 build for 2025 as well as plans for the future. Also a little bit of Le Mans Ultimate news as well as plenty more races that Apex Racing team have been taking part in. David, how have you been these past 7 days?
Good, yes, busy, good. Looking forward to getting through the development update because I haven't properly read it myself. I was live when it went live, read some rumours, so I'm actually excited to go through it.
Yes, yeah, it should be very, very good. Well, there's a lot of stuff to go through, as is always the case, so apologies if some of the stuff that we talk about are not particularly relevant for yourselves, but a couple of the smaller things which I guess won't be too relevant for the majority of our audience, which are the Europeans, are of course the ARCA cars, which are being well, they're being fully rebuilt, basically. The original ARCA car, I think, is from 2009 that iRacing developed.
It's old, right?
Yeah, they've got a number of different ARCA cars. I'm not familiar with these cars, but your time in the States, did you see any?
Yes, I did. Yeah, so ARCA Racing, it was. I saw loads of it actually, but yeah, I've drove these cars in the sim. I'm not the biggest oval guy. I mean, I've probably done less than 30 officials. I've done a lot of messing around in them though. Yeah, ARCA cars are super popular. Super popular.
Yeah, very popular cars on the sim. So yeah, they're getting a full rebuild, and also there's going to be multiple ARCA cars. I think there's even going to be a BOP system as well, but the original one is going to be dropped from the official series. We've also got the Legends Ford being rebuilt. You spent much time in this. It is an insane car. I don't understand it.
So if you check my telemetry, if I was to pull up my VRS telemetry of most laps.
You did one of the...
I did a
tiny circuits.
No. I did a 25-hour hot lap competition. It was hosted by me, but I really wanted to win it.
Sure.
I did 787 laps.
Round where?
Like Tsukuba Club or something. It was Okayama Tsukuba, one of those club versions. Yeah. Fantastic car. It looks like a gangster car as well.
Yeah. Well, it's like based on a car from the 1950s, isn't it? And yeah, it's weird, but that's getting a rebuild, getting a very old car. They gave more details about the new tyre model. Of course, it's coming to a number of different cars. I think it's didn't see it coming to any cars for this season, but they are adjusting it for the GTPs and the LMP2s. They said it's a fantastic tyre. Unfortunately, they messed up when it came to the speed of the GTPs, which of course are
A little bit.
6, 7, 8 seconds a lap faster than what they should be at the moment. But they said that they are utilising new real-world data and adjusted the expanding testing practices to ensure that the GTPs are more realistic for Season 2.
They said that the first time.
Yeah, yeah. They've consulted real-life drivers as well. That's something that they said, but this is fairly typical stuff. But I mean, it'll be better, I'm sure.
I hope so. We just want it. They're too quick. It's even made the multi-class quite a bit different. Where they pass you, the grip levels and carry speed they've got. Their need to pass the slower class is a lot higher than it used to be because, like, let's just say Monza, for example, in between the two Lesmos, there is no opportunity for them to wait. They're too quick. The opportunity to send it is just there always. Yeah. And then if they don't, on the next one they have to, because now again it's just changed the flow for the worse.
Yeah. Before the LMP2s were so quick through the corners that they wasn't too much of a penalty. So yeah, we've discussed that a little bit before, and we'll wait to see what it turns out with those GTP cars. Portland is coming for Season 2. You ever able to make the trip over? I mean, it's a long way away from where you were based in the US.
No, I haven't. I don't really know the track. What disciplines?
It's like it's IndyCar. So it's one of the IndyCar staples. I'm amazed it's taken this long. Don't believe it's in IMSA, but yeah, it's a staple of IndyCar. It's sort of a runway, with a chicane on the runway, and then it's sort of just a very narrow course besides that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the track now.
Show you your.
Yeah.
Sorry. That was my bad. But yeah, it's a very wide pit lane mainly, but is very narrow besides that. So it'll be all right. But it's a weird one that there hasn't been more demand for it over the last few years. I don't hear that many Americans going Portland, Portland, Portland.
Yeah, I think it's more we've been burnt on having lots of track. Here we go. I've brought it up for you. Yeah, it's an interesting layout. Trying to think what we go. Yeah, this way around. So. Good open.
Do you remember Grosjean's bad rejoin at T2?
I do, yeah.
That's
right, of course. I have watched a lot of IndyCar races. I don't know. I think it's hard now to sell a track on iRacing.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of series. What's the word? Dilution is extreme, and we don't have the pandemic numbers. I don't know. It's a tough time for any track. I think it would be. Unless it's a Singapore that I've really...
Yeah, really distinctive, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Bahrain. Yeah, it will be tough. Dan SR, by the way, in chat saying hello, don't usually watch live, but mostly listen on Spotify, saying that he loves the pod. Thank you, Dan SR. Thank you for the kind words. And, of course, welcome to everyone who's tuning in. Do let us know any thoughts that you have. Hello to Chris and Tirhei as well. We have a Homestead Art refresh.
I'm never sold on the art refreshes.
No, I'm a big fan of the art refreshes.
When we did Sebring, it just felt...
So Sebring wasn't that good a one because it was annoying that, the pit wall has changed in real life, and yet they're not changing that.
So what was a good art? Okiar? That was a full...
So I think Road America was a really good one. That really
of course,
livened up the circuit.
True, okay.
Road Atlanta was a really good artwork update.
It was a minor update. Or maybe I'm just remembering wrong.
Well, it totally changed the curves. All the curves are different.
Yeah, okay.
It looks...
I suppose it's a stopgap to a full rescan.
But I think it's wasteful to go over to another country and rescan a circuit. That's no different, right?
Yeah.
And to be fair, with Road America as well, they've made it worse over the years as well. So I'm glad they have.
Yeah, I don't want a Road America recent scan. No,
we'll keep the grass.
Yeah, I like the current one.
More 3D curbs. for
I hate these things. They've never made the course better or more penalising in such a way that makes the racing better. It's just adds another layer of unpredictability on how you take these curbs.
Sure.
Sometimes you'll grab one and the way it makes your car bottom out gives you exit rotation and you're off and you've set 2/10 faster than you've ever been. The next time in the race, slightly lower fuel and it just grabs your car and sends you to the nether regions. I don't like them.
Sure. Well, they're being added to a whole host of new circuits. I think there's like 6 or 7 of them. So
at Daytona, at the exit of T1, it's fine in single class. In multi-class, where you're forced a little wider, it's beyond inflammable how bad it is to run over that thing in multi-class.
there has been a debut refresh phase 2. So debut refresh, for those who aren't aware, is basically iRacing's new system where like dirt is more likely to come onto circuit. You're going to have debris on the side of the circuit. They use the example of the Mulsanne Straight where basically off the racing line should be littered with stuff, and before they didn't have that. They've had phase 1. Phase 2 improves this system with significant tweaks to rendering and dynamic modelling and the all-new inclusion of local debris cautions. Local debris cautions are informative only, and the work has begun to exercise our minds regarding future expanded road course caution supports. So ... which very much indicates safety cars is something that they are certainly planning on adding.
I don't know about safety cars. I mean, as a member of a team that has an academy and a pro team, isn't it the academy's job to crash at the correct time once the...
I think we've had this argument.
Like, how do you stop it being limited?
Massively in favour of safety cars, I think they are.
Okay, how do you get around the...
Well, because like anything, like your academy team could wipe out the pro team deliberately or hold them up in blue flags.
Okay. Is it against the... So it's against the rules to wipe out another team.
Yeah.
Your academy team wiping out Esports, the Williams Esports team, right? So that's against the rules.
Yeah.
Is it against the rules to just deliberately crash at a good time?
Yeah, because Crashgate.
Okay, but you can't penalise the team that gets the benefit.
How do you mean? Like whether they're a teammate or whoever?
Yeah, so Apex Racing team are P2. Yeah. They need a safety car. It would be very advantageous right now. And ARA have an accident at the exact right time.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with it? What's the...
Yeah, but but there's so many elements like that. Again, like the blue flags thing. I was like, oh yeah, I held up this person, but it wasn't tactical or anything.
Right,
or my brake snapped, and so I wiped out. So
it's just another layer of
just trust. Yeah, like that's how so much of iRacing is built, right? It's just.
Are we only talking about for endurance, or are we really going to talk about bringing safety cars to sprint races?
I think sprint race would be a bit rubbish, yeah.
Because I know AMS has it. It's a bit weird, right? I get it, but it's a bit weird if you're doing a 20-minute fixed race.
I get bored in I occasionally do like an IndyCar official race, and that's and on the ovals obviously that's cautions, and that gets dull when you're doing 2 laps caution, and so yeah, I wouldn't support it in sprint races. Another addition is the connection flag.
Yeah, I saw this. I mean, it is bad that iRacing's really never done anything about kicking someone. They don't kick people. It might show iRacing kick them because of bad ping. No, they have actually lost internet now. Yeah, it gets bad. It gets really bad. So
I guess it's just where they put the threshold, right?
Yeah. And informing the user and explaining to them, look, your internet connection cost you this. If they do it again and it happens again, now they do need to look at a solution or get it fixed or stop using Wi-Fi. You know, they now will be a better driver to race against in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pleased with that. Yeah, as long as it's not too strict.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the first race I compete in 8 people are out on lap 2 due to connection. I'm like, oh my God, I'm scared.
Yeah. And yeah, like what period is it over the course of? Obviously, anyone can drop for a couple of seconds, but yeah, hopefully it is reasonable. Terhei asking in chat, will we get light at tracks in the night? in terms of the in terms of like the floodlights being added to all the night circuits, I'm not familiar.
It's
I
only
don't
going to
think they
copy.
mentioned that.
Only going to be IRL if IRL has it.
Yeah, but I think they're still lacking a lot of IRL circuits which have floodlights.
Yeah, for sure.
Which haven't been added yet. So it
mean-
seems like they've sort of forgotten about that a bit.
One thing, if you drive any other sim, night is quite badly handled by iRacing. To them, it's just off. Darkness means off. Ambient lighting is now. Obviously, we will touch on their lighting system in a bit. But yeah, if you drive ACC at night, you feel like you have 3 monitors, whereas in iRacing you have a portion of one.
Sure.
It's a completely different feeling. So yeah, if you drive in like a track with no lights, it can be quite daunting.
Adaptive AI. As far as I can work out from what I read, this is basically you have, rather than a percentage, at the minute you have 0 to 120% for the AI strength. You say, I want easy, medium, hard, extreme. And iRacing will figure out what medium means to you.
I like that idea.
So
I feel like they should already have that. I've done 1,200 officials. They know my lap time at so many tracks. They should just know your pace. But
yeah.
Sorry, question from chat. So they remove them from the race and get 0 rating and 0 SR? No.
You'll get DQ'd.
You'll get DQ'd. You'll lose your I rating. Well, no SR change. Your SR will be impacted on what happened on your run up to it. It's an ELO system. For an ELO system to be valid, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's not possible. Yeah, sorry, adaptive AI. I mean, I've been doing a lot of the AI recently when I was testing rain and a few other things, and I don't know. They suffer from. They're really, really careful on T1. They're quite slow on lap 1, and then bam! Now they're all Michael Schumacher and Ayrton Senna, absolutely gunning it. They don't do much. I mean, you can override their aggression, but they don't do a lot of sending. They do sometimes. I had more fun. You can go into the AI and adjust all their abilities, put their smoothness to 0, aggression to 100, skill all the way, but make them completely unsmooth. Kind of help. Like they make dumb mistakes.
Sure.
They overpush.
They're like drivers who you race online with. Yeah. Okay. So another update, which I think will be a good one, is their all-new and vastly improved lighting model. So this is part of their graphics engine complete redo. And this element of it seems to be able to be applied to their existing graphics engine.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just going to be much better lighting.
Do we have
compared to what
any
we've had before.
pictures? But yeah, it looks fantastic, the change. I mean, might as well just show pictures rather than me using words, but it's so good. It's a big welcomed update. I hope it doesn't hit FPS too hard.
Is this the only image they included on
in
their
the
website?
latest one? Yeah. I mean, that doesn't show it, I suppose, too great. But yeah, it is a great update. They've shared loads of photos in the previous development.
Okay, wait, is that the same thing? It's not the same thing.
Yeah, it can't be an FPS eater. That's the one worry. But no, iRacing's lighting compared to all sims, whether it's AC, R Factor 2, is quite behind.
Yeah.
Andreas is asking he won't get a DNF if removed by connection. No, he will.
Yeah. It'll be like if you lost connection as is, you just get put to the back.
Yeah. I mean, it has to. Otherwise, I'd put a button on my wheel called "I'm doing quite badly, bad internet." Thank you. Yeah, you'll lose your I rating. You'll be last.
So they talked more about their new graphics engine. I don't understand all of that stuff, but they wrote quite a bit about it, so I recommend checking out the development updates to see more about it. But it seemed fairly similar to what we've already heard from them say before.
And there's no timeline yet on the full graphics engine.
I mean, it will be years, I think, before we get...
Yeah, I think they implied that when they first spoke about it. It's good that we're getting the tyre, the lighting, I'm not too fussed about. It's nice to not to hear about too many new cars and tracks, because I'd rather them just focus on the contact model, the net code, the tire model. Lighting has been a big thing for me. People keep talking about graphics, but I've pointed out over the years that if we had better lighting,
I mean, that is what graphics is, right?
well, it would just
Like, it's
everything would get a
shadows and
boost.
stuff.
Yeah, everything could get a boost. How many polygons or what resolution the image is, they're fine. Like, is it next gen? No, but it's fine. If we have better lighting, it's more eye candy than a higher. I mean, everything else has to eat FPS. It's the why more modern games are heavier.
Last thing was that Mexico City has been signed. I think quite a bad track.
Isn't this used to be on WEC a long
Yeah,
time
yeah,
ago?
2015, I think it was in WEC, but I think it was only there for a season or two. But one that's, well, of course, it's very high altitude, which in Formula One and in all series really affects the way that the cars drive when it comes to the grip levels. They have to run Monaco grip or Monaco downforce because the air is so thin, you cannot get any downforce on the car. But that's the layout. And of course, the Foro Sol is through the baseball stadium, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, again, it's hard right now to sell a track. I know I keep beating on that, but it is like the last new track to really do well was Fuji.
Sure.
And we've had a lot of tracks since then. I'm trying to think if there's been a standout one since then. Not in major sales, I don't think. They don't seem to have a problem selling GT3s, so they should probably just keep doing that. That's definitely making them money.
So yeah, that's the development update. I wouldn't say it's the biggest update ever, but it's unrealistic to. I mean, who cares, right? Like you look at the updates based on what we've had in the last 2 years, not what we've had in the last 2 weeks. So
yep.
Yeah, it is fine, and yeah, they continue to work on stuff. The thing that I was most interested by was the safety cars thing. Like, I think that would be a significant change, and as a league administrator, I'm always interested about those race format elements.
Yeah, for me, it's contact model, netcode, and yeah, lighting. I don't want the new UI. I'm fine.
So yeah, that was meant to be coming in this build, but they've delayed it.
Yeah,
they've said they're in the last 10%, but the last 10% often takes a lot of time. So season 3, the new UI will come.
Season 3, and what is the next one? Season
3 is the next one.
Right.
You got 3 months of this UI.
Okay. I can live with that. But no, yeah, for me, contact model. Yeah, 100%. That's what I want better. I want door-to-door racing.
Yeah. I did not see a single mention about that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So.
All right, up next, Le Mans Ultimate, confirming the Mustang will be coming in their 25th of Feb update on Tuesday for free.
For free, yeah.
We got a video.
What's the other free car? Is it the McLaren? The other free car at the moment?
Yes.
Yeah. So we can't play sound, unfortunately, for this. So apologies to podcast listeners, but imagine some sports cars sounds. But yeah, do check out the video. We're watching the Le Mans Ultimate February update news. So if you are curious, you can search for it. But yeah, it's all looking very nice.
I think they've got a Ford video. Have a look. I'm sure they have. I am 78% sure.
No, well, not on here at least, but I can go on.
Must be on
X.
On X. Man, the amount of people using X as a video release now, or is it just LMU? Because I feel like we keep coming down this route where we show a video from X. Chris in chat is talking about, yes, zero ambient lighting. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Well, we've got a very new video here. This was only posted a short while ago.
Excellent.
But this is the Aston Martin and the Porsche.
Yeah, these are the other two.
So yeah, so 3 new cars being added, and
these two,
one of them is free.
Yeah, these two are paid. Well, part of the DLC, whatever you want to call it. I forget what number now. Yeah, I
And-
mean, for me, ironically, I'm going to be driving the... I mean, I can't wait to jump in a Porsche and the Aston, but I think I'm really excited to drive the Ford.
Sure. Yeah. And of course, they were meant to. This is sort of like a half DLC. They wanted to post a lot of stuff out in February, but I think some of it's been delayed till April. So I think Qatar is coming out in April, as well as maybe one last LMGT3. Is there one more to go?
I
Or-
can't confirm or deny.
I feel like there might still be one more to go. I'll quickly see if there was another
There, the Ford video.
video.
Yeah, there you go. And yep, good looking car. This. It's going to be pretty popular considering it's free because the McLaren's very popular. But yeah, really excited for the Aston and the. Yeah, apologies not being able to play sound at the moment, but it's making loud American sounds right now.
Yeah. You can probably hear one driving somewhere in the world right now.
Yeah, 25th Feb. I'll definitely be jumping on that. What is it,
Yep.
next Tuesday, right? Yeah.
Tuesday, yep.
Yeah, I'm going to be all over that.
So,
wait.
yeah, do check that out.
It's a good field of cars, but that's what they always promised, right? They had the license, so...
Yeah. And yeah, it's good that they've got a lot of these GT3s now included. Let's have a game or a tier maker. We like a tier maker here.
Yes, we do.
And the tier maker for this week is Esports series. And this is from the perspective of a viewer.
Okay.
We're looking at it from an entertainment standpoint.
Oh, God. Me or how I feel it's conveyed?
How much would you want to watch one?
Okay.
If they were all on simultaneously, which
All right.
one would you put on each time? So the first one of these is I made this as well, so I should know which one. This is the DTM competition.
So the race room.
It's on race stream, yeah.
I watch this. I mean, it's only once a year, and I am an esports nerd. It does have broadcast. It does have good drivers. It is an LAN event, which takes an element away.
It's a few rounds, isn't it? Like 7 rounds?
Yeah. Lots of Germans.
Yeah.
Moritz Lerner's usually first or second. I'd give this C. Middle of the road. It's not bad, but it's not the most entertaining.
The NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series, of course, the #1 NASCAR series in the world.
I mean, as a
Do they have
co-streamer,
stages?
how do you mean? Sorry.
So in real life NASCAR, you do 100 laps, and they're like, "All right, we've given half the points away now," and then you do another 100 laps, and you get more points.
Haven't come
I
across
think
that.
because the races are 50% length, aren't they? So
Something
I think
like
it
that,
is
they're
literally
long.
just how you do in the race.
I enjoy these. I enjoy it a lot. So I would say B. I think they're fun.
Sure.
And it's for a lot of money, and it gives that intrigue.
And a good LAN event. Well, quite a good LAN event at the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's not quite
They do
as...
some special rounds with them driving outside the event in the sun. Like the rigs are outside.
Yeah. I've seen bits of that.
Unbelievable.
And good broadcast as well. They do some good features as well before each race.
Really good co-streamers.
Yeah, really fantastic co-streamers. Yeah. ESR R1. I think this is A or B tier, and I know you, some people are very dismissive of ESR R1. However, I think the way that the format works is good, and their lands are very well done. I think where it falls apart slightly is where the small field sizes.
Yep.
Sometimes the races can be a bit monotonous,
Yep.
where you know who's going to finish in the top 6.
It's very qualifying focused.
Exactly, it's very tricky
It
to
is
overtake.
exciting, that format with the, what do they call it? Once you've won a race, you unlock...
Champions modes or something, isn't it?
It's exciting.
Yeah.
I
I don't think it can be A though, actually. Now I've changed my mind. I think it's B. And the events are too long.
Yeah,
They're
B.
too long.
Some of the races are amazing, but it is such a qualifying format. You quite literally 90% of the races are just as qualified, and then once you get into championships mode, I think it's championship mode.
Champion, yeah.
Once you've got through to the final and you've got the 7 or 8 drivers, it is. Once you've won a race, you win one more and you win the whole thing, regardless of points or something. It's good, but yeah, not A.
F1 sim racing, I think that's A.
It's the most fun to watch.
Yeah.
There's always racing.
Exactly. The slipstream is strong enough and the turbulent air is low enough that racing's very possible, but it's not too easy.
It's all LAN.
All LAN.
Yeah.
Too short a season. There's only 3 LAN events.
It's terribly marketed. I mean, we do this for a living, and we always miss the first 3 rounds.
Yeah.
We're like, it's back. Oh, it's 3 weeks ago. Oh,
yeah.
Terribly advertised. Terrible name, but great drivers. The racing's good. I wouldn't touch it. But
okay, you wouldn't race, yeah.
Yeah, but we've got these upside down, right? To what I would actually do, right? I would actually drive the DTM.
Sure.
I probably wouldn't drive the NASCAR. I would never drive the F1 sim. So what I would like watching to what I would like doing is completely upside down here.
Our next one is IndyCar, the iRacing IndyCar Pro Series. Of course, came back last season. I think this is a B or maybe a C.
I think B. Because you always have that tyre element. It never is mundane. You always have that last 10, 15 laps of the transition of the drivers that pulled the gap on the other tyre to the guys on now the prime tyre coming through. Yeah. I think it always makes it exciting.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think it'll be... I don't think they had rain last season either, so I think when they bring in rain for this season, it'll be better. And of course, from the development update earlier on, they did say that the IndyCar would be one of the first cars to get the new tyre model. Le Mans Virtual.
The virtual...
Very different...
I mean, this is what is ARF. It was the biggest and best sim racing event I've ever seen. It was also the worst eSport event I've ever... How do we categorise this?
I mean, a B?
An A or an F or B? I don't know. This was brilliant. Verstappen, Baldwin, all the biggest names. Yeah. But that's not what we really remember.
No, I'm not a big endurance fan, so it's very different to the rest of these events when you've got a 24-hour event. We are just talking about the 24 hours. I don't think we're talking about the warm-up events to it either.
No, yeah, just the 24. Sure, but I mean, it was fantastic. It was so well done, but servers let them down big time. Next
up, PESC, and we're talking about the Pro Series here, not the All-Stars. Honestly, my first instinct to this is C. I don't think it's as entertaining as ESL R1.
It's not.
No.
I do prefer ESL R1 to watch over PESC. PESC All-Stars is better as well. We should put that in there.
I mean, it genuinely is, right? Yeah, it's got a full reverse grid. If PESC had a full reverse for race 2, I think it would be significantly better, yeah.
I feel like they extract some of the entertainment on track choices deliberately. They try and like force the entertainment side. I'm not sure.
They need to... the car's just rubbish for entertaining racing, right? Like the slipstream isn't strong enough and the turbulence is too much and the seconds that they go to are too complex that you just have no overtaking. Like,
and do you think
entertaining?
And this is bad from where I'm saying it, too many drivers from same team. I mean...
Yeah.
If you take away Redline, Coanda and Apex...
I mean, at the same time, though, you can have good elements of that because when everyone's part of a familiar team, then those team rivalries become even stronger. So that it can be used as a positive.
Sure.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. When you got 2 Redline guys at the front, you're like, well, yeah, they're not going to let anyone past. They could just... I mean, they're not going to leave themselves vulnerable, so...
Yeah. C.
Yeah. Last one, SRO Esports. I never watched one of these events. This is the ACC GT3 World
it
Fanatec
mirrors
GT Championship.
Yeah, it mirrors the IRL Fanatec, GT3. This has always been a big one. It's just not something here at Apex we've ever dabbled in, which is a shame. I think I've mostly followed it through the likes of Baldwin and I think Dara McCormick, I think. Yeah, those two.
Of ACC.
I don't know, because we're talking about the broadcast side, aren't we?
Yeah, the entertainment, how inclined would you be to watch?
Yeah, C
I
at best.
think that's fair.
It's not bad. Like, I'm glad the series exists, and yeah, sure, it's not on the sim I super enjoy. But yeah, it's never F1 esport. F1 is. I know not many people are watching. They probably think I'm mad, but I mean, watch it.
It's another level. Yeah, it is.
Some of the overtaking moves are so superior to real life and way above any other sim that you're going to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, PESC and ESR1, it's cool, but you got like 21 cars in a wave coming through a corner. F1, nah.
And it's always a case of one car gets like a fraction of their car alongside, and then it takes like 5 corners for them to gradually get a bit more alongside until they're finally ahead. With F1, it's just, I'm just going to dive you.
I'm just going to, there's a corner there, I'm going to just dive to the corner.
It's much less predictable when it comes to the racecraft.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely the best. Besides, of course, all the Apex Racing League events.
Of course.
That would have been unfair. We would have had to have made an S tier. So that would.
It's a shame we don't have an S tier and it's not just a 24-hour virtual Le Mans sat there on its own undisturbed, because it had everything it needed to be that.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
If their service hadn't gone down so many times, it got real bad, didn't it? Because they fixed it almost like, yeah, it's all back. And then Verstappen's like, why am I lap down? They were like, well, servers are running, so just deal with it.
Well, it got to the point, didn't it, where if 3 teams got eliminated, then you didn't get your laps back.
Yeah.
If 4 teams did, then you would get your laps back.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
Absolute mess. Didn't he? I think he uninstalled rFactor 2 live.
Yeah.
It's not a good advert. But, I mean, you don't hear any rumours or talk anymore. We're on the subject of LMU, rewind in 2 seconds. We haven't heard any talk about it. Which is a mighty shame.
No.
Because it can't be, well, if it was this year, I haven't heard any rumblings.
No, it's certainly not happening this year. But yeah, well, maybe the longer time people will forget more. So maybe a break is necessary. Let's move on to Apex Racing Team then. Some more events that have been taken part in recently. We had there was this funny clip.
This is brilliant. I was hoping you show this
on social media. I'll zoom in a bit. So that was Alejandro Sanchez, who, of course, Apex Racing Team driver, was racing in the Racing Unleashed LAN event. But right at the end of that event, he had to run over to a different rig in order to get ready for PESC.
You know, that small event with average drivers. That's insane. I loved this video.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's brave.
He didn't have a great time of it, though.
No.
I think it always comes down to qualifying. It was in Spa, was the event, and he finished 18th in the sprint and 14th in the second race, which is disappointing for Alejandro because he
especially at this track,
leading at the championship going in, so he's no longer leading. However, it was a very good result for Johan and Luke. Luke just about squeezed into the reverse grid, managed to get a P8 and a P4, and Johan managed to get a P5 and a P3. Luca as well had a pretty good round of it. I think that's his best result of the season. A P11 and a P10 very much boosts his chances of getting some solid prize money for this season. So yeah, just a bit disappointing there for Alejandro. But
yeah,
those rounds are always going to happen during the season.
Yep, it's tough. It's not 18th because he was a terrible lap. Half a tenth.
Yeah,
a lot in PESC.
DNLS was going on, and it was a very good result because Vasquez and Berryman managed to win in the S10 class, which is the GT4 class, and it brings them right into championship contention. There's one more round to go on the 8th of March. That's in 2 weeks' time. As it stands, they have a shot at the title. They're third place in the championship right now, but Falcon Simracing are on 23, SimRC 22, and AMG Team Apex Racing on 21. If we win the last round, we win the title. So, looking very good for Team Apex Racing Mercedes. AMG.
Yeah, indeed. I never get to watch the DNLS stuff. I don't know why. When is
It never pops up on your YouTube stream because it's like it's broadcast by, I think it's their official YouTube channel, or is it
Right.
VCO Esports? I'm not subscribed to
I'm
either.
not sure.
And so,
I've seen lots of clips in the past. I think I tuned in one time last year, but I've never known it was running. Yeah, just the advertising's not where it needs to be for sure.
Porsche GP is this weekend.
Good luck.
Thank you. It is at Alton Park, and it's going to be wet. I'm not sure how much I can reveal about the weather. I assume it's pretty fine for everyone today. But I think it starts off... what's the spotsy? Starts spotsy rain.
Right.
And then it gets light rain. And then it goes to spotsy, then it goes to light, then it goes to dry.
Wait, this is guaranteed, like a fixed schedule of... Wow.
So I think race one's going to be like wet, and then it's going to stop raining near the start of race two. But I don't think it's going to dry out enough for it to be worth slick tyres. But it's Alton Park. It's a very short pit lane. So if it's going to be possible anyway, it's going to be there. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be dry or wet tyres throughout. It might even be dry enough for dries actually at the start of race one, because it's only spotsy rain at the start of race one. But I think seeing that rain is guaranteed later on in the race, it's going to be a no-brainer to go for wets. But yeah, it might be all right. Very narrow circuit, very tricky to overtake.
Great track, though.
Well, we're using the island layout, which is a bit annoying. I don't know why. I guess
wet
safety reasons, but on the sim, that's not an issue. So, but yeah, they want to replicate real life. Also,
No.
Crofts isn't coming in the next build, so
Yeah, I saw that. An iRacing staff member, or Greg himself, commented on something.
They said that it wasn't. They had to prioritize something else, didn't they?
Right. Yeah, I remember reading a comment that someone had made about iRacing.
So Croft was meant to be on the PECC GB schedule, but it is not going to be there anymore. We don't know what track. Probably not Kill. I'm hoping Spa. Not Kill's not a good circuit. So we will see. I don't want to deal with those curves.
No, it's insane, especially in a Porsche Cup.
Yeah.
Although it was a good. What was it last season? Was it Luke and Sebi battling at Not Kill? Kind of swear I remember.
Yeah, I think I remember a rough battle like that. Yeah. But yeah, those curbs.
Are you ready for PECC GB?
I haven't done any practice. I'm part of a new series. Well, third season of it, but Formula One.
Oh yeah.
Created by Chaz Jacobs, and I got pole yesterday in that. Finished third in the race, but it's like a Daytona 500 race basically. It's all about the shove. We had a lead pack of 10 at one point. I say 1 point for the first half of the race. We had a lead pack of 10, so I was very happy to get third in that one. You can check that out at Chaz Jacob Media, round one at Phillip Island. That was a fantastic race, a fantastic meeting in Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup on Tuesday. Heat 1 was fairly normal, but we knew that rain was approaching, and this is right at the start of Heat 2. The drivers trundling down into turn 1, but guess what happens 2 corners in? It begins to rain. Now, this is a 10-minute race, so it's a little bit of a maybe we can get away with the dry tyres or not. However, we realised on lap one driver, Matt Strand, had gone for the wet tyres, anticipating that it would rain. Now,
no way.
These are very dry conditions early on in the race, and Matt's falls further and further behind. But you can see it's already starting to get a bit of spray. Strand 11 seconds behind, but he's still losing places actually at this point. He's down to 14th, maybe even fallen down to 15th. But now the drivers are starting to struggle a little bit. The curbs are getting pretty bad. And Mats makes his way up through the order. He's down to 14th here, but 18 seconds off the lead. he starts making up time. And the way that everyone is just standing still in comparison to Matt's here, being on the wet tyres whilst everyone else is on the slick tyres. And at this point, we're thinking, well, could he win the race, potentially? He's going to be so much faster. Just one lap to go. He's making moves like this, where drivers can't take the corner, and he's just taking it normally. And then going on to the last lap, he's about 12 seconds off the lead, 13 seconds off the lead, with a lap to go. Leader makes a mistake. Pascal Costa over the curb.
Yeah, no grip. Oi, there
Almost
is
puts it
no
in the wall.
grip.
No grip whatsoever. Unfortunately, we then had an issue with the replay system, but when we come back to live pictures, Strand is on them with a corner to go.
No.
And he's approaching Costa. Can he take the race win?
Oh,
No, he cannot. Pascal with a very harsh.
Harsh. Yeah, he got penalised, right, Sam?
So Pascal came into the interviews afterwards because he actually won the overall event. That was the heat. He then won the A-final because Pascal was absolutely on fire in the wet, which the track got wetter and wetter later on. And he apologised. He said, it was my fault.
No, we do you say we know? You don't need to tell us. Thank you, sir.
Well, we talked, me and Aaron were, I was not 100% like saying he was going to get a penalty for that. But
It looks a
I
little
was
reactionary.
thinking it.
A little reactionary.
It was very reactionary. But, yeah, so he's probably going to get a penalty. So Matt Strand probably won that race. Congratulations to him. What a call to be on the wet tyres on a dry track at the start of the race.
Yeah, it worked out. That's for sure. 15 minutes, you say?
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
10 minutes.
And it started dry?
Started bone dry. I think it literally started raining
That's
first
incredible.
2 corners, yeah.
I would have definitely, even if I knew the rain was coming,
So it was weird.
I would have stayed on, I would have been on a dry hunting.
The forecast was saying that there's a 50% chance of rain in 8 minutes. But then it started raining there.
With a standing start?
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, I would have gone dry. So
Yeah.
it's remarkable to see. That's remarkable.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it should work.
But I think that is something worth considering is, I think when iRacing says rain is going to come, often it comes 5-10 minutes earlier than it actually does. I've been in races in PECC GB where it's been the same thing, where the rain has come earlier than you expect, or earlier than scheduled. And so, yeah, if it does look like it's going to rain in 5 minutes, maybe it's worth trying it.
That was Indy, what? Flat track, no camber. So, I mean, loss of grip is pretty major when you've got nothing to bank the tyres in. Yeah. Gibbo and Logie mentioning in the full development update, mentioning about the Aston in May. LaSalle, yeah, 2 LM GT3s we know paid, and the Ford is for free. And yeah, we mentioned this for the alternate layouts.
Yes. Which they can do a few of. I mean,
as sprint formats works, right? Obviously, because let's face it, the game is baked around at the moment. Their popularity is the rookie, the rookie sprint series stuff is the most popular. So throwing an alternate track layout helps makes it more a little bit more diverse. But obviously,
Bahrain Alta could be on its way.
Yeah.
Or the Bahrain endurance layout that they used for 1 year in F1 2010.
Yeah.
Super long cycle. It was a 2-minute lap time.
Isn't it their anniversary today?
Yeah, 1 year.
Yeah, they've done.
This game came out.
The most impressive thing they've done is turn unbelievers into fans. I think that's their crowning achievement. Because, we've been following them before they had the name LMU, right? The Motorsport Games saga. But yeah, they've done really well. They've got a solid audience. Is that the best way of putting it? What's the numbers at nowadays? Let's have a look. But yeah, every time I jump on, I have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's certainly because I remember us very much talking about it being the most hyped game of the year, putting it ahead of WRC and
it was our pick, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Rensport and Co. But we were still very holding out hope for it, weren't 100% trusting it. But yeah, since the GT3s, the numbers have stayed solid.
Because everything else gave it a boost, but then it re-consolidated. But since the GT3s, I mean, holding a 1600 average with the limited choices of types of races is plenty big enough. Yeah, I jump in at 9 in the morning and there's 9 splits, and it's, you know, it takes you back. Like, it's impressive.
How big are the splits now? So it's still like 20 drivers?
I think the sprint stuff is 20. I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited. Yeah, it's just we need to have one good financial report that we read out on this stream, because we cover every financial report that they cover.
Yeah.
We've been covering them for a year.
Well, I didn't see any headlines about it, but is it because we covered the preliminary one last week? I don't know when the actual one is going to come out.
But if you're preliminary losing $1.25 million,
yeah,
and your only asset nowadays seems to be LMU, it's not. I don't know. You must have quite the bank account.
Yes. Well, I think that's pretty much everything that we're going to go through.
Yeah, I mean, we always cover the iRacing development blogs. It's nice that they're mentioning all the things we want to hear.
When did those development blogs become a thing? It's only been like a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Before that, because that's one of the biggest, maybe it's just because I don't spend much time on the forums now, but that used to be a big thing, was the communication that people got frustrated with iRacing. And to be fair, iRacing have no obligation to communicate what they're working on. You know, it will be here when it's here, right? So people saying, oh, well, what's going to come in 3 years' time? Well, they don't know what's going to come in 3 years' time, obviously. But I think people do genuinely appreciate the feedback. Because a lot of the time, even before I think you were on the sim, it would be a case of we'd hear, oh, this thing is like, we're like deep in development of this element, say day-night transitions, and then 2 years later, nothing's seemingly been done on it.
Yeah.
Whereas these development updates actually humanize the development of it and explain, okay, this is what we're working on, this is the setbacks we've faced.
Yeah. Contact model. Yeah, that's what I want to hear, because that will change the game, literally and figuratively. Yeah, because like or hate LMU, it has a fundamentally better contact model. You can. I still need to adjust. I get nervous in certain corners when you're running door to door, and I think that's dumb. And then you bang doors, you both go through the corner, and then you're almost like, oh yeah, of course you can do this. So yeah, that's what I want to see.
Cool. Well, we will be back next week, of course, for another episode. But in the meantime, please do leave a like on it and leave a review as well on Spotify. I think it probably helps the algorithm over there. And yeah, we'll see you back next week.